Live from the studios overlooking the beautiful city of Rochester, New York, hosting Steeler Nation Live, your hosts, Big Tiz and Big O.
Welcome to Steeler Nation Live, fans. I'm Big Tiz.
And I'm Big Ho, and we're both here from Rochester, New York, upstate, Western New York, whatever you want to call it, for Steeler Nation Live.
Guys, the Steelers had an epic weekend. They beat the Atlanta Falcons on the road, under 500 team. The Steelers had problems with this all season long, but they did it Sunday.
That's right. And what was awesome to see, if you looked around the stadium, if you paid attention, how many terrible towels did you see? How many Steeler jerseys did you see? A bunch of Steelers commented. It was like, when they looked at the fans, it was like a homecoming game. It was like at home in the dome.
Oh, it was amazing to see. I mean, just to see the Steelers down there, and it did. It sounded like they were in Pittsburgh. They're scoring touchdowns, and it sounded like they're back home in Pittsburgh. Unbelievable.
Absolutely. And the thing about this is, we finally beat a below 500 team, and the reason why we did it, even is still the inconsistent play. We scored touchdowns. We took an early lead. We let the other team, the other team tried to play comeback or catch up. And that's what we didn't do during the games, the teams below 500 that we lost.
True. And the Steelers, they kept that mentality. They faced adversity with the Atlanta Falcons trying to make a comeback, and the offense went out, put up a touchdown. Or put it like this, they put the game out of reach, picking up first downs, crucial first downs they needed to pick up. It wasn't just that same old type of offense where they used to go into where they just, send, Le'Veon Bell into the pile to pick up a yard or basically, send him into an 8-man front. The Steelers did trick plays at the correct time. I don't know, maybe Haley's starting to get a little bit better control of the offense. I don't know. But right now, the Steelers seem to be clicking on all phases.
Yeah, especially still having struggles in the secondary with Willie Gay's pick six. That was the momentum changer, the game changer. But we're still giving up big plays, keeping teams in the game, and that's something that Tomlin's got to do. Dick LeBeau's got to do. Mix something up in the secondary. Try to get some new schemes or something. But we're still struggling. But offensively, the run game wasn't there. But what the Steelers have been doing as of late, it's just becoming. Even though you're trying to be a running team, but we're not becoming one-dimensional, becoming two-dimensional. And what has failed us in the past when we had to switch up to the pass because the run wasn't working, the pass was failing. And it was, mediocre at best. I mean, because when you're playing a below 500 team, you kind of make yourself look better than what you are. Right. But I do believe the passing game is a lot better than it was against the Falcons.
Well, that was, a little hard to take with the running game being as, inconsistent in this game as it was. But the fact was the running game, I knew it was suffering this game because Atlanta would have to play that 8-man front to try to shut down and run and kind of basically, make Ben beat you, which I don't understand that with the, not a consistent secondary, which they have. And they got burned on a lot of plays. So they did a great job shutting down the run, but Bell did pick up touchdowns when he had to, so that was a good thing, which showed that the offensive line was, still out there trying to gel, trying to do their things, even against this 8-man front.
Right. And what Bell did, not only did he help the Steelers win the game, became the second player in NFL history with 200-plus yards from scrimmage in 3 consecutive games. The only other person in front of Le'Veon Bell, NFL history, was running back
Walter Payton.
Sweetness.
That's exactly right.
And that's the kind of stuff that the Pittsburgh Steelers need to give them momentum going into the playoffs, the final rounds of the regular season. This is what you want. If you just can't, throw your hands up in the air, the running game's not working, what are we going to do? We're becoming two-dimensional. And special teams is still, we need to talk about them later.
Yeah, special teams of the Steelers, sometimes in years past they used to be a thorn in the side. And, hopefully, let's just hope that doesn't rear its ugly head. We're hoping, right now things are going okay with them, but they still give up some yards in that.
And another big thing you also mentioned a few seconds ago is about one of the games that Pittsburgh is finally making those needed third down conversions in the first down. The last play of the game pretty much that sealed it for us. Third and 1 at the Falcons 40 or whatnot. Tick, clock ticking down, 2-minute warning, no timeouts left for the Falcons. We don't make this first down. It's a long field goal for Swisham. I don't think we kick it. I think we put the Falcons, trying to get them pinned deep in their own territory. You can think of all these scenarios that Pittsburgh tried to do in the past that failed. So we needed this first down, and what happened? We throw the ball, and we get 16 yards on the play. Game over right there, Heath Miller. So
exactly. Well, the Steelers, like I said, that win right there yesterday put the Steelers in phenomenal position, especially in the playoff picture. The Steelers, they're in the wild card slot right now, but they still have a chance to continually move up with the end of the season coming up. They have 2 games remaining, one against Kansas City, and they're both at home, Kansas City and the Bengals coming into Pittsburgh.
That's right. Now, out of the 4 wild card teams, we're pretty much all basically even. So what that tells me, Tiz, is that the only chance of getting to the playoffs is you have to win a division. And right now, where Pittsburgh sits, they can do this. They don't necessarily have to win outright. Right. As long as the other teams lose, and I'm talking about the Bengals, and I'm talking about the Ravens. Browns, forget it. Like I said 4 games ago, their last game that they won, that was the last game they're going to win of the season. A lot of Browns fans out there were unhappy with what I had to say, but you know what, folks? It's reality. You know, you have a quarterback a new quarterback, Johnny Money Manziel. You throw him in there, you think because he's such a good quarterback at Texas A&M that he's going to do something to the Browns. Well, yeah, he did. He helped them lose. With one of the worst quarterback ratings in NFL history, 1 point. It says, I think it had 3 points. I didn't even play. So what does that tell you? Is it too much of a load on Johnny Manziel? Or is it just he's not the fit in Cleveland like Richardson? They got rid of him. I mean, he was a high draft pick. They lost interest in him, got rid of him, and he's off in Indianapolis doing a fine job with the Colts. But Manziel's not the answer to Cleveland, and thank God that they have a bunch of picks next year, because I'll tell you what, look out for Cleveland next year. But we're going to talk about this year. The Ravens 9-5, they're at Texas. Now the Colts pretty much wrapped up that division by beating the Texans, so it's pretty much spoiler time for the Texans. Do they really want to make sure the Ravens don't make it to the playoffs? Anybody. I mean, I would. Right. I mean, if I'm not going, you're not going. And let's look at the Colts. Colts are at the Cowboys. A big win over the Philadelphia Eagles. 21-0 lead. Eagles come back, take the lead 24-21, and then they just fell apart. The wheels fell off the car. Steelers 9-5, home against the Chiefs, like you said, and then go to home at the finale against the Bengals. Big O is going to be there. And we talk about division rivals. Bengals 9-4-1. That one tie is probably going to come back to haunt them.
I believe it will too, especially down near that last game. I believe that's where that tie hurt them.
So right now, up top of the division, as far as division leaders go with the records, we are tied with the Bengals, 3-2 in the division. So it's going to come down. Whoever wins the last game is going to be the division champion.
Yeah, it's going to be something to behold, especially with the Bengals. They got this weekend the home game with the Bengals taking on the Denver Broncos. It's going to be a huge game. You know, I don't know how Peyton Manning is going to do in this game. He left the game early with some injuries, and I believe he was battling the flu as well.
Flu-like symptoms, yeah.
Right. So the fact is that I believe will he be back in that game against the Bengals? I believe so. How effective he will be, I'm not positive.
Now, when you look at this game, you know, the Broncos already pretty much wrapped up a playoff spot, clinched a playoff spot, but it's between the Broncos and the Patriots. Who's going to have home field advantage? So we all know that Peyton Manning's going to be in there. C.J. Anderson's going to be playing. The Thomas twins are going to be playing. You know, it's not going to be because we're in the playoffs. We're gonna sit back and coast in. I don't think so. Except for the fact if the Broncos come out and they start blowing out Cincinnati, I don't think you'll see any of these guys in the fourth quarter. Maybe after halftime, Peyton Manning will come back in, or maybe if it's the other way around. If Cincy's blowing them out, I don't think you're going to see these guys in the game because they're not going to take that chance of getting hurt. Hopefully, it's the first choice that I said, that the Broncos will be destroying Cincy, because God forbid if we lose against the Chiefs and the Bengals lose, we're still in it. So it's going to come down to the wire. Bengals home against the Broncos Monday night, 8:30. Steeler fans, go around the TV, watch it. Little hacks on the Bengals or whatever they ever do, make them lose. So
well, we hope so. Hey guys, right now we're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to go over the game stats as the Steelers played the Falcons in Atlanta. Next up on Steeler Nation Live.
Four-of-a-kind consignment and resale, Jeromesville, Ohio. Everyone knows everybody. Everyone calls your friend. You don't need an invitation. Just kick off your shoes and come on in. At Four-of-a-kind consignment and resale, they have antiques, vintage items, electric items, clothing, and housewares. Four-of-a-kind consignment and resale is a 4-generation family-owned establishment that also has Muffler & More, Spade Web Design and Publishing, and Spade Enterprises, a business that loves and cares about the community. Even though they are in Ohio, Four-of-a-kind consignment and resale has a ton of steel items for sale now and even more during the season. They're closed on Mondays, but they're open Tuesdays through Sundays. Call Heidi. Her phone number is 567-203-7858. That's Heidi at 567-203-7858. Or look for her on the web at spadeinc.com/4oak.html. They ship everywhere.
Welcome back to Steeler Nation Live. I'm Big O.
And I'm Big Tiz.
And right now we're going to go over the game stats for the Steelers versus the Atlanta Falcons over the Sunday game. So Big Tiz, final score 27-20, and I do believe we can rewind to the past our last show, and I do believe, I could be wrong, I think you predicted a 27-14 score, and I predicted a 23-20. I thought it was going to be a lot closer. Well, it was a close game, touchdown, right. 7 points, but I was thinking that we win it by field goal 23-20. So I think we're pretty much even on the score. We knew who was going to win this game. It just gets down to the nitty-gritty what the points were. But 27-20, impressive win. Pittsburgh jumped out to a 6-0 lead. Should have been a 14-0 lead. You when you get in the red zone, we talk about this all the time. You got to put up 7s. You can't put up 3s. Even though 3s are good.
Right.
But you got to put up more than that, especially with an explosive team like the Falcons, where Matty Ice, and just because Julio Jones wasn't playing, he's got a plethora of receivers. Devin Hester, help me out there, Harry Douglas, and a couple other guys. He could just throw the ball all day.
Yeah, and the thing about it is that Matty Ice it seemed like later in the game, he actually kind of tried to find his groove with the receivers. But the fact is that the Steelers, they tried to hit him with a heavy pass rush, which, was a good thing. We don't have the best defensive backs that there is out there, but anybody with pressure on him will make mistakes, and that's what happened in this game where he threw a pick 6 to Pittsburgh with Willie Gay taking that back for a touchdown.
52 yards.
Exactly. Nice touchdown run back, and that's what pressure does. Pressure makes turnovers, and the Steelers got that, and it put them in a head. Almost looked like they were going to try to take total control of this game.
Right. When you have a quarterback that's, like we talked in the last show, who's basically on timed routes, when you flush him out of the pocket, you don't let him stand back there and give him all the time in the world, because these great receivers can adjust their routes, and they know what to do if the quarterback's in trouble. So what the Steelers did, not necessarily, they didn't sack Matty Ice at all during the game, but you know what? The pressure counts. Knockdowns counts. When you knock the quarterback down, he's thinking next time when he's rolling out, or he wants to stay in the pocket, or he's flushed out of the pocket. So we got a lot of pressure on the quarterback just to get the guys off their routes, and it was very effective in the first half.
Exactly. Well, in this game, the Steelers had 22 first downs, the Falcons 20. Total yards, actually the Falcons had more yards than the Steelers in this game. I don't know if a lot of it was because they were coming from behind, so they were throwing the ball more or less. But Pittsburgh 398, the Falcons 407 total yards. Penalties, the Steelers, like we said last show, Steelers are getting better with their penalties. 3 penalties for 34 yards. It's been dropping every game. That's amazing. They've been staying more or less penalty free. The Falcons, they had a great day with penalties, 3 penalties for 25 yards. The Falcons had 1 turnover, which was the interception for a touchdown. Steelers had none, unbelievably. None. Turnovers lose games.
That's
and the Steelers they didn't turn the ball over at all. And time possession for the Steelers, 30 minutes, 43 seconds. Time possession for the Falcons, 29 minutes, 17 seconds. So the Steelers won that battle by about a minute. And if you go down through the numbers of Roethlisberger.
27 for 35, 360 yards. I think he led the NFL on Sunday with yards passing. Over 4,300 yards, broke last year's season record for passes, for yards passing, and he still has 2 more games to go. So this is going to be a great year for Ben Roethlisberger when it comes time to come to the table for a new contract. So put those losses behind. I'm guarantee you, if Ben's going to shatter this record, gets us in the playoffs, he's going to get his. Hopefully, he doesn't start that crap.
Yeah, but it's going to be a huge off season for him.
It is. Like we talked about, the inconsistency of the running game, inconsistent or non-existent, however. Le'Veon Bell, 20 carries, 47 yards. That's about 2 yards per carry. But receiving, though, 5 catches for 72 yards. I think he scampered for 44 on 1. So that's what we talk about with the dual threat, with the running back staying in the block to help Ben if he can get the open receivers. If not, he could peel off and give it to him and let him run down the field, because when you got Wheaton, you got Martavis Bryant, you got Antonio Brown spreading out the defense, it opens up the whole area. And plus, when you throw Heath Miller in the middle of that, somebody's got to cover him. That opens it up. The guys are blitzing, trying to get Roethlisberger, dump it off. I don't understand why we haven't been doing this all season, but this is something we need to look forward to. Antonio Brown, another stellar night, 10 catches, 123 yards. Unfortunately, no touchdown. He had that 1 catch at the 1 yard line. That was a catch. It was a great tippity tap tap and drag. And they initially ruled it out of bounds, but they reviewed it. Not by Pittsburgh's choice. It was up in the booth under 2 minutes, and then Le'Veon takes it in for a touchdown there. Heath Miller, pretty decent day, 4 catches, 68 yards, but that 1 catch was huge. Like we talked about earlier in the show, that third down and 1 that we had to keep the clock going. It's kind of dangerous throwing. You miss the ball, or you get sacked or whatever, or incomplete. The clock is running. Tag, 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 tag. It stops the clock. Stops the clock
for incomplete.
For incomplete. But that's not what you want to do, and we just made it. What about the other side of the ball there?
Well, Ryan, he didn't have a horrific day, but it wasn't that good either. Well, he was 26 of 37, 310 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 big interception back for the touchdown. Running back Jackson, 11 carries for 46 yards, no touchdowns. The big ones with Pittsburgh are having problems with their defensive backs. Hugh Douglas, 10 catches, 131 yards.
Yeah,
that's a lot of yards.
That's a lot of yards. And we talked about last show what we have to do. We have to stop Steven Jackson. We cannot let him get into the secondary. Once he breaks through the line, that's pretty much a TD right there. Very good containment on it. And we didn't have 8 men in the box either.
Right.
We had the usual 3-4 defense and shut down the run extensively. But then you got Devin Hester who comes in there, who a lot of people said his time was over when he left Chicago. He comes to Atlanta, and look what he does. He breaks records on kick and punt returns, and also he flips over on the offensive side of the ball and plays wide receiver, and he does it well.
Yeah, Devin Hester in this game, 5 catches for 85 yards and 1 touchdown. Now, if you go to the defensive side of the ball, the Steelers, 0 sacks, 0 fumbles, 1 interception back for a touchdown. And the defensive side of the ball for the Atlanta Falcons, they had 1 sack and no interceptions or no fumbles. But the thing about with the Steelers was that the Steelers did have a sack in this game, but I believe it was called roughing the passer when one of the Steelers actually planted Matty Ice. Nice outside blitz, planted Matty Ice, and they said that he led with his head into his chest, which, right now the rules in the NFL, they kind of have a lot of people wondering, is this still football or what?
Yeah, let him play football. If it's really outrageous, throw a flag. But if you're being tackled in tackle football, no matter how hard you get hit, that's what tackle football is about. Let's take the helmets off. Let's take the pads. Let's put some flags on. Play flag football. Still, we'll have penalties, but it's just amazing. And the thing about what scares me about the box score is that 1 goose egg in the third quarter. You got to play 60 minutes, and that third quarter is in there. You have to score if you want to be in the playoffs and you want to win in the playoffs, you've got to score every quarter. And even if it's a field goal, something, you got to get the points up on the board. You can't let these teams stay in it. You can't do it.
Well, now this weekend, the Steelers are they're heading home, but they're playing the Chiefs. Now, this is a huge game for the Steelers. I'm pretty sure it's a huge game for the Chiefs. The Chiefs are 8-6, and they're second in the AFC West behind the Broncos, which, kind of doesn't bode well for them right now, but they're still trying to win out their games. The Steelers have to be up for this task. It's going to be a huge task for the Steelers.
Yeah. When you look at the division that the Chiefs are in behind the Broncos, the Broncos pretty much are in the playoffs. But we talked about it's home field advantage. Who's going to be the Patriots? Or it's going to be the Broncos. So the Broncos are going to come to play, and they're not going to lose these games. It's up to the Chiefs to win these games, and the Broncos have to lose their games. But it doesn't look like it's going to be feasible for the Chiefs to be in there. Now, the Steelers need to be in the playoffs too. So what do we have to beat the Chiefs? I mean, there's no way around it. Can you lose and still get in? Yeah, but do you want to go that route? Do you want to go down that road? Do you want to rely on somebody and back in the playoffs? You want to assure yourself a playoff spot. So you want to go straight out and win these games. The Chiefs pounded the Raiders last Sunday, which is no big surprise, 31-13. Alex Smith, decent day, almost 300 yards in the air, 2 TDs, no interceptions, because they really don't have a defense. Jamal Charles, not that good of a day, 12 carries for 52 yards on the ground, and Dwayne Bowe, 3 catches for 69 yards. Now these are the high numbers for the offense. Now if the Raiders could put a kibosh on these guys, I don't know how they scored 31 points. I'll tell you that right now. What did they do? All in special teams probably? I don't know. I'm not really too sure. I don't follow the game. We just get the stats, the basic stats, the basic meat and potatoes. Just give you a little flavor, a little taste, what you expect. So this is what the Chiefs had to offer to the Raiders, and on paper it doesn't look like much. I guess the game was a lot closer than with the score to picks. But coming into this game, Big Tiz, what are some of your keys to victory for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Well, I know one thing: the Steelers have to eat up clock and control this game, because you want the ball to be in your hands majority of the time, just like old Steeler football where they used to run and control the clock, eat up the game, don't leave the other team enough time to control the clock. So what the Steelers can do this is by make sure they maintain their lanes, especially in the blocking. You have to make sure that Le'Veon Bell can pick up 3 to 4 yards every time he touches that ball. And the other thing Steelers can control it with is almost like a run, is with the short 4 to 5 yard passes, what they've been doing. That picks up yardage, that eats up the clock, and it gives you that more or less that dink and dunk down the field, but it can get you down the field. And like you said, you want to score points every possession you get down there. Even if it's 3 or 7, you got to score something.
That's right. My key to victory, some of what you said, we got to control the game with the run. But we have to score early and we have to score often. We have to do what we did against the Falcons, but instead of field goals, we need to put up 7s. We need to put up touchdowns. We can't turn the ball over. And this is huge because the closest of the game with the Falcons, what was a 1 turnover, and that was a pick 6 for our favor. So you can see how the tides turn with turnovers. If we don't create turnovers, if we don't give the ball up, we have a better chance of winning these ball games. And if we create turnovers and we capitalize on them, that's extra. That's extra money. I mean, it's pretty much gravy. When you can do that, we have to create turnovers, not give up the ball. And that's a key, like I said, the recipe to a victory. You don't turn the ball over. Also, big plays on defense. We cannot allow Alex Smith to go back there and just throw the ball down to Dwayne Bowe, whoever they got there, running routes for the Chiefs. We cannot give up big plays to the Chiefs. However, we need to make big plays on defense. Rattle Alex Smith, knock him around a little bit, stop Jamal Charles, take him out of his game, get into his head. If the Raiders can do it, the Steelers can do it. And Ben has got to get back on track. He's slowly but surely coming out of that fog or whatever you want to call, started to hit the receivers, because if the running game, because the Chiefs are going to stack the box just like the Falcons did, they're going to make Ben throw. And you know what? If Ben's on his game like he was against the Ravens earlier, against the Colts, if Ben's on his game, it's a bad day for you. And then when you bring 8 guys in to cover receivers, that's when Le'Veon Bell's going to tear into you. So it can be done. I'm pretty sure we can do it. We know we got Cincy afterwards, but let's focus on this Chiefs game at hand, because this will change the tide of how we look at the Cincy game coming for the last game of the season.
Well, Big O, in this game with Kansas City coming down to Pittsburgh, what do you see in your thoughts about what final score will be in this game?
All right, if Ben's on his game, I'm telling you, it's going to be 35-17 Steelers. And only because that 7 points is going to be a junk TD. So 35-17, that's what I say. And Le'Veon's going to have another huge game.
I'm hoping more of a score like a 27-10. If the Steelers can, like you said, rattle Alex Smith and kind of control the running back, the fact is that I believe the Steelers can do that in this game, but they have to stay focused, especially in the secondary. And I believe they can do that in this game. So I see the Steelers winning at 27-10.
Beautiful.
At Pittsburgh.
And you know what? The weather at Heinz Field for that game, it's going to be cold. It's going to be, the high is only going to be 34, the low is going to be 24. It's going to be cloudy all day, folks, and a 20% chance of precipitation, which means when you get that temperature, it's going to be snow. It's going to be a great day for football, though.
Actually, and it's going to be great. Hey, guys, you know what? We're going to go to commercial break. When we come back, we're going to go over the injury report for the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Next up on Steeler Nation Live.
Uniform Express, located on 1408 Buffalo Road, Rochester, New York, for your police, fire, or EMS supplies. One of Rochester's top and finest suppliers of shirts, pants, shoes, boots, and accessories for your professional uniform needs. Uniform Express also does embroidery and screen print for team uniforms, jerseys, and corporations. Hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can also go to their website at www.uniformexpress.com or call Brian at 585-529-4245. That's 585-529-4245. And let Brian know you heard his ad on our show, Steeler Nation Live.
Welcome back, fans. Big Tiz.
And I'm Big O.
Hey, guys, you know what? Let's jump right into the injury report for the Steelers. Right now, one of the big glaring ones that's kind of sticking out to me a little bit is Polamalu is still having problems with his knee.
Yeah, when you're running all over the field and you're diving and you're smashing and you're bashing, you know, you're going to get your bumps, your bruises, your scrapes. But when you have this lingering knee injury, this knee problem, I'm pretty sure, and you know, I don't want to predict, you know, bad things to anybody, but I'm pretty sure at the end of the season, when it's done, he will definitely have some surgery on his knee. I don't see why he wouldn't. You know what I mean? It's been plaguing him all season, pretty much. So he missed a couple games with it, and so, you know, it comes with the territory. When you play as hard and you play as dedicated he is, you're gonna get injured.
Right. And a lot about it, I did notice as well. Harrison was still out. You know, still having issues with his leg. So let's hope that, you know, hopefully we can get him back for like a playoff run. I just hope that's what he's being held out for, you know, just in the back of my mind.
Yeah, I think he's going to be ready for the Chiefs game. They might sit him. They might run him a couple plays, but I guarantee he's going to be in that Cincy game. I know for a fact he will be back for the Cincy game. And Marcus Gilbert still out, missed his third consecutive game with the leg injury. It doesn't look good for the Chiefs game. They're trying to get him back in, but you know what? Since he's been out and Adams has been in, Ben's only been sacked 3 times. So I mean, Adams is doing really good on, you know, holding up his end of the bargain. Right. You know, filling in great for Gilbert. But you know, other than that, I just, you know, Mitchell with the groin injury, the strained groin after that one hit he put on, I think it was Devin Hester. Late in the game, so he's still trying to nurse that. But I'm pretty sure that, you know, with Timmons in his back, I'm pretty sure he'll be playing, you know, the KC game. All these guys are probable except for Marcus Gilbert, which I really doubt that you could put him down for out.
Right. Well, you know, with the Steelers with their long list of, you know, injuries, I can't say really long, but it's guys that, you know, can help us get to that next level. So we got to keep a watch on this, and we will for the next couple of games here on Steeler Nation Live.
Right. I don't want to forget Ike Taylor still nursing that forearm, the one he broke. I mean, he does have some kind of foam cast on him when he's playing. I don't know if that's hindering or helping him, but there's still tenderness, there's still soreness in it. He is probable for the KC game. He's a tough competitor, not that good at covering, but he's tough competitively, and I see him playing against KC because he's out there for the team. Hopefully he can do a better cover job, but he's listed probable for the KC game, and he's listed day to day.
Exactly. Hey guys, you know what? That's it for the injury report. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to step right into our final segment of the show, and that's our final thoughts of the night. And I'm Big Tiz, so I'll start off with my final thoughts for the night here on Steeler Nation Live. One thing I do want to start off with is I'm going to dub mine No Place Like Home. And I say that because the Steelers are going to be at home. And the Steelers, they can't get comfortable because they're being at home. When you're being at home, the Steelers lost to New Orleans at home, where they gave up a lot of yardage. They gave up a lot of plays at Pittsburgh. The fact is the Steelers have to act like they're on the road in this game. When I say on the road, you got to remain focused. You got to have that same fire and desire as if you're away from Pittsburgh. You can't just come home and think that you're comfortable. You got the fans behind you. You got this, you got that. And Pittsburgh has gotten into that phase, and they've gotten very comfortable, and they lost games. We lost to the Tampa Bay, and like I said, we lost to New Orleans, and you can go down the list, the Pittsburgh Steelers. So act like it's an away game. Play tough, play hard, play physical, shut down run lanes, shut down much pressure on Alex Smith. Alex Smith has proven in the past when he's pressured, he hasn't done well. He had games in Buffalo where Buffalo has pressured this guy, and he hasn't done well. Did they win that game against Buffalo? Yes. But the fact is Buffalo doesn't really have that great of an offense. Pittsburgh has the offense to do it, so you guys know you can do it. If you got to lean on Le'Veon, lean on him. So you know what that means? Ben, you got to be ready to attack. And that means, again, I believe that they will try to stack the box to try to stop Le'Veon Bell, the same as Atlanta tried. So, Ben, you know Heath Miller has to be the key. Heath Miller was the one who caught that final pass in that game. Just like we said before, we said in many broadcasts, Heath Miller should be the leading receiver on this team. Steelers have to recognize that. When you start hitting your tight ends, any team that has a tight end that is their leading receiver, they're flourishing, like the New England Patriots. Or, I can't think of it right now, but there are a lot of other teams out there with their tight ends are their leading receivers. And these are the guys who know how to run their offense, because number one, with that receiver leading, that receiver will make the linebackers back off. The defensive backs have to be worried about him as well. So you have to use that guy. And like I said, Heath Miller should be the MVP of this game right now. So let's hope and pray. Steelers are hoping. No place like home. Get in your head, think about it, and get it straight. On Steeler Nation Live, I'm Big Tiz.
Wow, this is why I hate going second. And one of these days, you're going to let me go first. It's so hard because you always hit the good parts. You always know exactly what to say, and now I have to pick up the pieces and try and give you my take on that. So here we go. I'm Big O. I'm going second. Final thoughts is Pittsburgh could take this and go all the way. We just have to know how to do it. And it's just like a puzzle at home, folks. You have pieces to put together, and when they all fit, you have a pretty beautiful picture you want to hang on the wall. We have all these pieces floating around. We're giving up big plays on defense. Special teams is so-so. We're not running the ball properly. We're not throwing the ball properly. And these are the pieces that are floating around. Once you connect these pieces, dish the ball to Le'Veon. Let him take the ball. Spread the defense out. Throw 3-4 wide receiver packages. Open out the defense. Give it to Heath Miller. Let the guys blitz. That's what you want to do. Let them blitz, because you want to know why? You have your new outlet. It's called Le'Veon Bell. And then once those guys, linebackers, are blitzing, you have receivers downfield who can block and give Le'Veon some more yardage. It's common sense. They blitz, you outlet. They don't blitz, you run the ball. It's simple as that. When you have 8 guys, 8 defensive backs, you're going to run the ball. Give it to Le'Veon all day long. Bubble screens, couple trick plays. Break it up a little bit. A little monotony here, Let the defense guess. Keep them guessing, getting on their toes. And then what they don't expect to happen, that's when you hit them. Just like a prize fight. They don't know what's coming, you hit them with it. Now, with that being said, we have to get all aspects of the game, special teams, offense, and defense. Score early. Score often. Get out there. Play 60 minutes. No 3 points. You want 7 points. You want to create turnovers. You don't want to give the ball up. You want to capitalize on turnovers. Folks, look at the history. Look at this. Look at the games we won. We didn't turn the ball over. Ben did not throw interceptions. We didn't fumble. We end up winning this game. We have to work on giving up the big plays on offense. The defense has got to step up and stop that. We have to cover some people. We have to hit some people. We have to sack the quarterback. We have to stop them. Make the other teams one-dimensional. Make them win the game. Don't lose the game. Pittsburgh's going to win this game. Pittsburgh's going to go into the playoffs. I see it. You put all this together, how can we lose?
Well said. You heard it here on Steeler Nation Live from Big Tiz and Big O. Hey, guys, like we said, the Steelers will be victorious. Mark it down. And actually, guys, you know what? Like we said, we've been pushing all the last couple of shows. The holidays are here, so we want you guys to go to our website, put up your Steeler picks with your Santa Claus gear on. I've seen everybody's wearing the ugly sweaters now. Big O, we got a picture we got to put up of him on his ugly sweater, and he's doing a heck of a job wearing the ugly sweater.
Thank you.
But but you know what, guys? We want to get it from you. So go to our website, www.steelernationlive.net. Go to your picks. Leave your Steeler pick up there for Christmas, and we got to see you out there on Steelerland. And if it's a good picture, we're trying to put you up here before the end of the season, so we'll have your pick up here for everybody to look at and see the ugly sweaters, because they are floating around here this season. So again, from Big Tiz,
I'm Big O.
Another Steeler Nation Live show in the books. So we'll see you next time on Steeler Nation Live.
Happy Hanukkah.
Big up. Every night on Monday night, man.